Salutations to the primes, 747, 24/7, 361 degrees. How y'all feeling today, tonight, wherever you at? It is 8:18. That is a palindrome prime. Peace to everybody that supports the movement. Salutations to the primes. If you hear me loud and clear, let me know. We will begin the discussion. Peace to everybody that supports the movement. Cool. Salutations. The family. Peace to the family. Until my check. All right, what's up? State your name, put it in the comment section. You are relevant. You are relevant. Thank you for everybody that supports me. Peace to the Oracle. Thank you. Peace in the Middle East. Peace to everybody watching across the universe. Facebook, YouTube, a whole nother planet. Whenever you catch the signal, the future, whenever you catch the signal, what's going on, y'all? I'm feeling really good. Shout out to you if you in here. State your name, put it in the comment section. What's up? We're broadcasting on YouTube, on Facebook. You can watch us on either or. If you can hear me loud and clear, say yo. I can hear you loud and clear. So tonight, I wanted to do a little discussion. I wanted to run back Charlotte Rise Up. All right. And this Charlotte Rise Up, the event was actually sponsored by Cultural Giving Development Center. Excuse me. All right. Peace to the Oracle Mother. I want to say thank you for being a great host for Charlotte Rise Up. But I wanted to run back a little bit of the information that's that that I shared with the community when we had the event Charlotte Rise Up. Now, it was a great event. I don't want to talk about the semantics of whatever happened. It was beautiful. I wish you was there. All right? What I want to talk about here is the information that I shared with the community that night. All right? Which is very relevant, very relevant. So, my point my point of the discussion was I was saying that the tribes that are in the Caribbean, the tribes that are in the Caribbean are connected to the southeastern tribes of the United States of America. That was my point. That was my whole point that I was proving. All right. I brought up different scholars. I brought up different universities that were saying the same thing. Now, people would argue, they would say that these people weren't connected. They would act like when they see, let's say, somebody with a headdress of like this, and then they see somebody with a headdress that is a Plains Indian or whatever you want to. I don't want to say Indian, Aboriginal, however you want to call yourself. Let's say if you're wearing a different particular headdress that doesn't look like this, you would act like these people were not connected. Okay, and I look at it as a way to divide our people. You know, we have been divided through countless tactics, and as far as a headdress, as far as what we wear and what we look like is really irrelevant in this day and time, I think. It's really represent the principles that we stand upon, I think fundamentally should be what what uh what raises our community, what brings our community into the awareness of where we need to be. All right. So tonight or today, wherever you are on the planet, I'm gonna share with you the reason why I say that these people were connected. Okay. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to the Moors, the Cherokee, the Chickasaw, the Blackfoot, the Choctaw, the Muskogee, the Seminole, the Catawba, the Yuchi, the Natchez, the Timucua, the Appalachee, the Gual, the Yamasee, the Tuscarora, the Biloxi, the Chitimacha, the Coushatta, the Alabama, the Tunica, the Ofo, the Hichi, the Taino, and the list goes on. I don't want anybody to feel like they're not included in this. And if I mispronounce the name of your tribe, please forgive me. All right? I want to share something else with you. Let's continue. So, my position is that we are a whole people. A lot of people say that we should come together and be as one, or we were one, or something like that. Or even the Muslims have you worshiping one God. And I beg to differ on that. My position and the position of our tribe is that we are a whole people together. All right, meaning that we have different things to bring to the table. We have so many things that's a part of who we are, that is diverse, that we need to just share it amongst each other. We need to barter. We need to do different things that represent who we are as a community to build the community. Okay, so that's something I wanted to share with everyone. What's up? If you in here, state your name, put it in the comment section. You are relevant. I want to say peace to the family. Peace to the family. Whether you in the YouTube or in the Facebook, put something in the comment section and share the video. So, in this dialogue, I'm going to prove that the Aboriginal people of the Caribbean were connected to the Aboriginal people of Southeast North America. All right. I will prove it through my PowerPoint today. Okay. So let's move forward. So again, my position is that we are a whole people. Shout out to Brian, Messiah Cole All Stars. What's up? All the All Stars coming back. Thank you. Thank you. I wanted you to be security for this event, bro. I was hoping that you was security, but it didn't happen. It's all good. I still love you. I want you on the next one. Share the video. If you went here, share the video. Excuse me. Share the video. All right. So let me drink something real quick. Excuse me. So, like I said, I love y'all. So again, we were a whole people together. We were diverse. We had many things that were in common, which was love. That was the common denominator that connected our people, but we were diverse. We had different things that the universe blessed us with, and we shared it amongst one another so we would strive as a community. All right. So let's continue on with the discussion. Okay. So the objectives of Charlotte Rise Up. In this presentation, we will explore related themes such as ancient pottery, the great ancestor turtle, and the sacred path as noble vessels of identity, trade, and spiritual connection among indigenous peoples from the Carolinas to the Caribbean and beyond. I hope y'all hearing me loud and clear because this is about the cook. For now on, you're about to have evidence that will support any claim that we were connected to Africa, the African people, or if you want to call it Africa, however you want to call it, those people from that continent were connected to the people of the Caribbean and were connected to the people of Southeast North America. I will prove that in my discussion. Okay. So, yeah, these are how I'm going to prove it through ancient pottery, through the great ancestor turtle, and through the sacred path. All right. So, for now on, you will have supported evidence for this claim. Okay. The objectives of Charlotte Rise Up, to keep it simple, for thousands of years, we were not divided. We were connected through rivers, through oceans, through trade, through the creative spirit of will. Our people moved, our knowledge spread, and together, what? We grew. Okay, this is something I want y'all to know. Let's continue. So, archaeological evidence, archaeological finds show that the Catawba and the Taino pottery traveled along indigenous trade routes, proving extensive commerce and interaction. Wow. All right. So this is trade and migration revealed through pottery. Through pottery, ladies and gentlemen, gods and goddesses, kings and queens, emperors and empresses. Let's move forward. So these are the native trade routes I'm showing you right here. As you see, they follow almost like the Fibonacci sequence or the Fibonacci numbers. They follow these numbers. All right, I put that up there for a reason. But also, these are trade routes that the native people follow in order to connect one another. And if you notice, these trade routes right here, these trade routes look similar to the same routes that we travel today in the United States of America to go back and forth. All right? They look similar to one another because they built on these same trade routes that our people traveled. All right? So let's continue. Let's continue this discussion and let's continue to build. All right? So, legacy of pottery in Southeast America. Comb. So more than 4,000 years, civilizations, all right, before the rise of great civilizations, the first potters of the Carolinas were already shaping clay, firing it in open pits, and marking it with the patterns of their world. So this is something I want you to know. So more than 4,000 years ago, before the rise of great civilizations, before the rise, we talk about more than 4,000 years ago. This is a long time, okay? Pottery, the sacred vessel of knowledge and trade. Pottery has a spiritual and cultural record more than what meets the eye. Pottery carries the fingerprints of what? The ancestors, preserving history, prayers, and sacred symbols. Let's continue. The Catawba, the Taino, and the Southeastern indigenous pottery connections are through their shared techniques of shelled tempering and the coiling method. These confirm long-standing cultural exchanges. So this is almost similar to like a technique of sorts. If I learn how to do it this way, I show you this way how to do it, and you show me this way how to do it, and we share similar techniques in order to make our pottery more effective. So this was the coiling and the tempering method. Okay, so I will share a brief description of what the coiling and the tempering method comprises. Okay, so another thing that you find are symbols. These symbols link these people together, and it's the great spiral. So that spiral represents that's the circle of life coming back to wholeness. All right. So spirals, geometric designs, and sacred etchings. These reoccurring symbols reflect a shared spiritual language, linking pottery traditions across vast distances. These spirals, you notice that's in the Taino pottery right there. And then we can go across the world and we'll find the same thing. The Baranacoa Valley, Venezuela. All right. And this is like 1000 BCE through 500. And this is Christina Barreto. She writes about the Baranacoid spiral motifs spread to the Caribbean, reflecting migration patterns. So this is a scholar talking about how, you know, the spirals, the spirals, they spread. It was a culture. It was like almost like hieroglyphics of sort. They put it on the pottery. Okay, this is shell tempering. This is the Dapper pottery spirals suggest coastal interaction. Caribbean groups. Spiral details include stamped spiral impressions from cord wrap sticks on vessel exterior. All right, and this is the Deptford pottery. And if you notice the regions of the Deptford pottery, where it's located, Georgia, Florida, you know, all along the coast of the Carolinas up into Virginia, even up there. You can say that's a part of the Deptford pottery as well. Okay, so moving forward. So what I'm saying, I'm explaining is that these people are connected. You see the spirals in the African ceramics. You see it in Thailand. And then you see it in pre-dynastic Egypt. You see the same spirals. All right. So again, this is the circle of life, connecting all of us back to wholeness. Some say it looks like the number 9. I'm good with that. I'm good with the number 9. Let's continue. Let's continue to build. So another thing, what did these spirals mean? We can break down what these spirals mean, because if you notice, you'll see spirals everywhere. You'll see spirals everywhere. One thing is that our ancestors were not wandering, they were building, not lost, but leading, not waiting for the world to find them, but shaping the world themselves. All right. So these spirals and these connections show that these people shared a culture as well. The spiral, as etched into ancient pottery, is more than an artistic flourish. It is a divine signature, a cipher of the Messiah code. To those initiated in the mysteries of time and space, the spiral represents the eternal cycle of creation, resurrection, and ascension. A movement that is neither purely linear nor entirely circular, but an ever evolving path to what? A higher awareness. Okay, so moving forward, what you see is, you can see it in the golden ratio. You can see the same thing. You can see the same thing with the spiral in the golden ratio. Okay, so the golden ratio is a special number, about 1.618. All right, which appears in nature and design. It describes a perfect balance between two parts. And this is a riddle of life. Listen, describes a perfect balance between two parts, where the smaller part relates to the larger part in the same way the larger part relates to the whole. Imagine a spiral seashell, or the way leaves grow on a plant. They follow this natural pattern because it allows for the most efficient and beautiful growth. All right. But what's so important is what you notice, that the golden ratio it describes a perfect balance between what? Between two parts, where the smaller part relates to the larger part the same way the larger part relates to the whole. And I want you to just relate that to life. Relate that as a principle of life in order to grow, in order to move things in the right direction. Okay? So let's move forward. Let's move forward. So, like I said, you see the golden ratio in many places. Nothing is above the shell. That's she and L. That's she and L. Spiritual science. Okay. And I seen these same spirals when I went to the Cueva del Indio in Puerto Rico. And this is a cavern that is over 10,000 years old. All right. So a lot of the Taino temples, I'm gonna explain this. A lot of the Taino temples were built in the caverns of the earth because they believed that they were going inside the womb of Atabe when they were going into these caverns. So they built their temples inside the earth. Okay. So this is me inside the earth in Cueva del Indio, which is an ancient location, all right, which is a place where we hold the man and woman challenge at the pilgrimage vacation, all right. But what you see behind me is a spiral. You see the same thing, and you see ancient carving. You see people carving into the wall, all right. You see this over 10,000 years old. This place actually changed my whole feeling of what I thought life was when I went to this place, to be honest. All right. So we can move forward a little bit. Excuse me. What is clay? So clay is a stiff, sticky, fine grained earth, typically yellow, red, or bluish gray in color, and often forming an impermeable layer in the soil. It can be molded when wet, dried, and baked to make bricks, pottery, and ceramics. Technically speaking, sediment with particles smaller than silt, typically less than a tenth and a 6 millionth of an inch. That's very small. That's very small. So I'm gonna tell you this: pottery is a tradition of ours. It's a really spiritual tradition of our people. You might say, why is that? Because you got to think about it. We are believed to come from the earth. Like our mother is on earth. Our mother gives birth to us on earth, and our Father who art in heaven. Literally like a relationship with both of them, because we go through the womb of our mother, all right, and we aspire to move towards the Father, all right, which art in heaven. Okay, so masculine, masculine and feminine principle. But going back to the clay is important because the clay is of your hands. It is a product of your hand, which is a product of your mind. So one of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Musawiru. Musawiru means like the fashioner. And also you can take this back to ancient Egypt with Khanum, who is called where they get the word Khaliku or creator from, because Khanum sits at the potter's wheel and he molds the spirit into manifestation. So it is a lot when you talking about clay. Clay has so much spiritual significance of who you are. All right. So that's what I want you to think about clay. Not some ceramics that you bought from the store, but something that is the work of your hands. Okay. Like let me see. I'm gonna show you this. I'll show you this real quick. You see this? I want y'all to see that. This is a semi. This is a semi right here. of the great ancestor Yukahu. This is the semi of the great ancestor Yukahu, who represents the mountain. All right, he's the mountainous one, but he also represents the what do you call it, photosynthesis in plants. Yukahu. It's the male spirit. His mother is Atabe, the earth. Okay. Now it's great power when you mold things like this, when you create things like this. This is a creation of my hands. This is not a creation of something that I bought from the store. It is a spirit behind when you create and when you mold something with your hands, and when it is the product of your hands or the work of your hands. All right. If you notice with even Yahweh, the word Yah begins with Yetzba, or the Yod of God, which is the 10th letter, which represents the 10 fingers. Okay. But this is Yukahu, and this is a powerful symbol in my home. This is the male spirit. This helps me reflect as the male spirit, and that comes upon me by just having this around. And you might say, nah, that's idol worship, and this is not idol worship. I'm gonna tell you why. Because whether you know it or not, there are keys or markers that represent time and space of whatever happened to you. So, like, I can look upon this and I can reflect and say, that's Yukahu. But I know what it means, what it meant to go to the mountain, to be protected by Yukahu. I know what it means to encounter the Semi, Yukahu, because along the path, I felt the spirit. And this is something that my people created to represent that mountainous spirit. All right. And I did a replica of it in order to protect. And I painted it the colors of purple, which represents royalty. It represents the royalty of who we are as a people, to protect us, that divine spirit. But a semi is basically, see, when I said a semi, you said, man, that's like probably like an idol, a word for a god or something like that. Nah, semi doesn't mean that. A semi represents something to log time and space, but it's a way to connect you with the divine source. All right, it's something to log time and space, or how you connected to the divine source. Like, for instance, they have a semi, which is a duho, which is a duho. And the same way that you see this, a duho, you say, well, what is that? That's a chair or a seat, a throne of sort that somebody sits on. But to them, it was a divine connection. It was a way to uh, represent the encounter between them and the divine. All right. So I wanted to show y'all that Yugahu, very important spirit when it comes to Taino. And like I said, Yugahu is photosynthesis. It's what powers the plants to grow. When I call on this spirit, I'm calling on that. That's the spirit I'm calling upon, so it can move within me. All right? For all the people. Another thing I'll show you with pottery, which is this right here. It's something that I'm working on right there, which is the pass key. You can barely see it. But what I'm telling you is that I'm working. Look at this. This is pottery. This is pottery right here. It's the work of your hands. Very important. Very important. The work of your hands. Very important. Anything that is the work of your hands is very important. You know what I'm saying, Messiah? Anything that is the work of your hands is very important. I need y'all to know how important that is. Let me move forward. So it's a tenth and a 60 millionth of an inch. That's small. Sediment. I mean particles of sediment that is a tenth and a 60 millionth of an inch. That is small. All right. Uh let's do this real quick. Let me run through it. So residues analysis, similar cooking. Oh, let's talk about that. You know that the Taino people, right? And the people of like the Mississippi's and of the Deptford area, all of those people were eating the same thing. And you say, what were they eating? They were eating okra, they were eating rice. And you say, well, we all eat, it's a Caribbean food, rice, okra, all of that. Not really, because it didn't come from this land. It didn't come from here. It was it was brought over here. It doesn't derive okra and rice. They do not derive from the from Carolinas or North America. It doesn't derive from that portion, or even the Caribbean. It doesn't derive from that portion of the world. It derives from Ethiopia, Abyssinia, those type of places. That's where okra comes from. And then rice, it doesn't definitely come from southeast North America. It doesn't. So what happened is they found residue traces of these foods in the pottery. All right. This is deep. And then I'm showing you that right here. I'll show you that where different scholars showed the residue analysis. All right. So, yeah. So we ate similar things because we were a whole people. All right. We came together through what? What brought us together? I'm going to tell you what brought us together. It wasn't just the science, it was love. All right. So I bring up different scholars like Leland Ferguson, who talks about this. The colonial ware from South Carolina contains rice and okra traces matching African food practices in the Caribbean. Different people are saying this. They like, oh man, yeah, these are bombs. Colonial ware. What is colonial ware? It refers to a type of low-fired, unglazed, coarse earthenware pottery often made by enslaved African American and Native American potters in colonial and early American contexts along the Atlantic coast used for everyday purposes. Yeah, these were your people creating this, what they called colonial ware. These were your people. So colonial ware from South Carolina contains rice okra traces matching African food practices in the Caribbean, meaning that these people were connected. That's the point that I'm arguing. That's the point. All right. Do not divide our people. Don't say, "Oh man, I'm a such and such," and if somebody say, "Well, I'm a Taino," right? I'm a Taino, Aboriginal and Native American, and you might say, "Well, I'm a Catawba. I'm a, I'm a, Appalachian. I'm a such and such." Whatever you want to say, you are. What I'm arguing here is that it doesn't matter that these people were connected with each other. All right. And I want to show you something that's in the Charlotte Rise Up book that's very important that I want y'all to pay attention to. Okay. So this is another scholar, Judith Carney. She's saying the same thing. Like, but you can say it. If you say this, trust me. If you go and say, yo, these people were connected. Stop acting like we disconnected or we ain't one people. Look at this. If you say that, they'll say you crazy. They'll tell you to shut up. But when they got scholars creating books, they got scholars creating a whole livelihood off this information, off of your history. Somebody needs to beg the question, why are you taking these people's word instead of your grandmama's word? All right. I got a book, that I inherited from 1652, that was crafted by Philippe de Chapon, that was gifted to me by my grandma, that came from my great great grandmother. All right. That gives me history up into the late 1700s. But you would want me to go to them to validate certain stories that my grandma been telling me. And I can't do that. I can't do that. Because she was living and breathing. She was next to me telling me these things, what was going on. And I can imagine, I can look at my grandchildren, I can say, if I tell them a story, I hope they will understand what I'm telling them happened. All right. So yeah, rice and starch, all of that was in the pottery. All of that was in the pot. All of that. These people were connected from Africa back to North America, back to the Caribbean. They were always connected. Please stop trying to divide our people. All right. So Philip D. Morgan, Johns Hopkins University, and this is enslaved counterpoint. And this is on page 350. He says this: Southeast U.S. colonial ware shows traces of African stews akin to Caribbean pottery residue. Woo, yup, same thing. They're connected. They're connected. The people are connected as one. All right. Moving forward, Jane Landers, Vanderbilt University, Atlantic Creoles, The Age of Revolutions, Harvard University. This is page 172, and I quote, she says this: African diaspora pottery from in the Caribbean and Southeast U.S. shows yam and fish residues reflecting shared food practice. And this is what I was saying, that we were coming together. We was coming together because what was in the pot? What was in the pot was love. That's why we was coming together as a people. We were coming together to share a plate of food, to share sustenance. Don't you know? I'm gonna keep it real. When somebody is talking and saying, speaking information to you, it's really good not to be eating something. The reason why is because that same blood that you divert towards digestion will go to food for thought, and you would digest thought in the same likeness of how you would digest food, because that same blood is not going to the centers of your stomach or what it takes to digest food. It goes to the idea of digesting thought. So yes, that's what was in the pot. It was love, and also it was us communicating, talking, sharing ideas with one another. Okay, moving forward. So Christopher, I bring up a lot of scholars, man. I don't like. I can keep on bringing up these scholars. Diaspora pottery in the Southeast Caribbean contains okra rice residues can trace in African, West African foodways. So you mean to tell me that okra had some wings and it just flew itself over here on a flight from Africa? No, it did not. Somebody got to be telling me that. That okra, somebody DoorDash some okra or some rice back in the day in the 16, 15, whatever hundreds, they ordered this okra even back before then, thousands of years before that. They DoorDashed this okra from Africa and it was delivered on their doorstep. That is preposterous. That is a complete farce. All right. So, yeah, let's move forward. So, origins of okra, just in case people want to argue that point. And this is what I brought up. National Research Council. right? Collective authorship, Lost Crops of Africa. You can go check these books out. Go check these books out, right? So I got these on my script, y'all. So a way to find a lot of these books, I go on Scribd. I pull a lot of these books up when I want to do some research on them. You know, you can do whatever you want to do to find these books, buy them, however you want to do it. But hear me out, all right? Look at this. They talk about how okra apparently originated in what geo geobotanists call the Abyssinian center of origin of cultivated plants, an area that includes present-day Ethiopia, the mountainous plateau portion of Eritrea, okay, and the eastern higher part of Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. Okay, so National Research is the council, a group of scientists. They identify Ethiopia and adjacent regions as okra's origin based on geobotanical evidence. Isn't that? Isn't that? Isn't that special? So you got National Research Council and the Lost Crops of Africa in the second volume. They're telling you that okra didn't start in America. It didn't have its origins in America. It was brought over. It was brought over. Excuse me. Let's continue. So, you know, the whole okra, this is Chris Smith, you know, the seed to the stem celebration. You know, prevailing theory has long been that okra originated in the East Africa, likely Ethiopia. Some evidence suggests a possible early evidence in Southeast Asia before domestication. So the point is that it didn't derive because you got other people arguing that it's in Southeast Asia. They're not arguing that it was in America. There's nobody arguing here that okra derived from America, but our people had it in their pottery. Our people had it in their bowls. Our people had it on their plate. You hear what I'm saying, Messiah? Moving forward. So, the shadow of slavery, Africa's botanical legacy in the Atlantic world. All right, so okra, like this Muscus escalatus, a plant of African origin, was among the crops cultivated by enslaved Africans. It was cultivated by enslaved Africans in the Caribbean and North America by the early 18th century. Look at that. Moving forward. Shout out to Ali Jawo, my people from Gambia, Africa. And this is another point that I wanted to make. You know, some of the earliest traces of us connecting to Africa was through the Gambia region. That's another point that I wanted to mention. Not just the pottery, the shared pottery. Okay, we have food. We had the same food in the pot, and we were sharing different customs of spirals and putting these things on pottery, and you know that could be abstract. But look at this. I'm gonna share something else with you about the Gambia region, because the Gambia region is, you know, some people say, yo, we came from West Africa and Ghana and many of those other regions. A lot of us came from the Gambia region as well, more often than anything. I'm gonna tell you why. Because from Gambia, we followed the path of the turtle. This pathway led us to the Caribbean. This pathway led us to Southeast North America. All right. But it hailed from the Gambia region because that is the migration pattern of the great leatherback turtle, okay, which represents our ancestor, okay. So that's why you find that it's a connection with the rice and the, because if they followed the path of the turtle, they also brought the food with them from this region. All right. So this is Peter Wood, black majority Negroes in colonial South Carolina from 1670 through the Stonal Rebellion. Look at this. It says this: rice was being cultivated in South Carolina by 1690, almost certainly introduced by Africans familiar with its culture from from the Gambia River region, where it had long been a staple. You hear that? That's another scholar. This is a scholar saying this. This is another scholar saying this. Man, let's move forward. I want to say peace to all my family in Gambia, Africa. Peace to Angela. Shout out to the Holy Spirit in the building. 727. What's up, Messiah Cole All Star? Nice to have your return. Shout out. Peace to the Messiah Cole All Stars. Thank you for everyone making their return. I really appreciate y'all. I really appreciate the love. All the All Stars making their return back home. Make sure that y'all get y'all books. Make sure y'all stay in touch with the Purple Heart Squad. And I'm gonna say this. Let me give a shout out to Angela real quick. Angela, she is one of the main reasons why the Purple Heart Squad is alive. At one point, it was I used to call the Purple Heart Squad the one group. Angela remembers this in 2018. We used to call the Purple Heart Squad the one group, and I was kind of having like a little trouble with it or whatever like that because I don't know. I didn't have. I wasn't like running it. It just I put everybody in the community. This is when Facebook first started, like the group chat thing, and man, it got lost. The one group got lost, and then Angela, she ended up being the administrator of the Purple Heart Squad for some time. She held it down, and that's when we end up calling it the Purple Heart Squad because before that it was called the One Group. It was called the One Group because it was like a one group. It was like we all make a phone call. It was an idea. We were supposed to make a phone call and everybody be on the chat instead of be on live. And what happened was what we did was it was too many people for it to be on a chat, a phone call, because I wanted to call everybody at the same time, as many people as I could, and it didn't allow over 50 people or whatever you can call. So that was the thing. So I want to say shout out to Angela 727. You already know. Solar Prime Supreme, thank you. Thank you for your service to the Messiah Code movement. And make sure that you stay close to the movement. We've been growing, and I would appreciate that you come back home. If anything, I can tell you, I appreciate that if you come back home. We got a lot of work. We got a lot of work for you to do. We need all hands on deck. What's up? Who's in the building? State your name. Put it in the comment section. So yeah, I was reflecting on my brother Ali Jawo, who's holding down the Gambia, who's holding us down in Gambia, Africa right now, who's running a Messiah Code movement. As you see, he put the mother in the center and he got the tribe putting up the B-Week. He is our ambassador for Gambia, Africa. I want to give a shout out to him. I love him. He's been holding down the movement for some time now. Okay, so yeah, like I was discussing in the you know, I gave another scholar how rice, a crop of African origin, appeared in the Caribbean as early as 1648 with Barbados records noting its cultivation by enslaved Africans bought from the Guinea coast. Yeah, yeah. What I'm saying is that this rice that they found in the pottery is something that our people brought with them from Africa. So when they say that our people were connected, they're not lying. This is something that scholars keep on saying. Scholars after scholars keep on saying the Caribbean people are connected. All right. I don't want nobody arguing about their native heritage and having Indian wars. All right. Please stop that. Please stop fighting amongst one another because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of, you know, people being divided and you're the same people that have been oppressed. All right. The point of this discussion that we are a whole people, we are diverse. All right. We have different things that we share. And one thing that connects us is love. I need you to know it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter what your creed or culture is. In the Messiah code, I want you to know love has to be the center of what binds us. Okay. Let me move forward. So I got other scholars saying this. I keep on bringing scholars after scholars, all right, talking about this. And then the bottle gourd, you know, how this came over. And then people wondered, how did it come over? And I was saying through the great canoa. See, a canoa is not what you think. A canoa, you know where they get the word canoe from? Is the word canoa, right? It's a vessel, it's a spiritual vessel to our people. It's how we cross the spiritual plane. It's literally how we cross the spiritual plane into a whole nother dimension or into a what you would call it another world of sort. All right. But it was cross dimensional when you got in the canoe. It was that type of vessel. It wasn't just a boat that you get on to float in water because everything had a spiritual principle to us, the way it connected us up. Okay. So yeah, let me see. I wanted to say this real quick. So what we know, pottery. Just to sum up, pottery has a spiritual connection. Connection. Clay is not just earth. It is a living memory molded by the hands that carry ancestral wisdom. The language of pottery, the symbols, spirals, and carvings are on pottery are more than decoration. They are messages, maps, and prayers passed through generations. Trade and migration through pottery. The movement of pottery between the Carolinas, the Gulf, the Caribbean, South America, and Africa proves an interconnected world of commerce, diplomacy, and cultural exchange, preserving identity through clay. Pottery connects the people to their land. You hear that? Pottery connects people to their land, ancestors, and future generations, ensuring that their stories are never erased. So that's one. These are the fundamentals that we learned about pottery. These are the fundamentals that we learned about pottery moving forward. So, archaeological evidence of shared pottery techniques, we learned that as well. And this was coming from survival of a folk tradition. And this is when, we talk about the minerals that are in the pottery now. We talk about minerals, okay? Because the minerals play a role too. Because let's say if I got some pottery from Georgia and I got some pottery from Puerto Rico, you would know the difference. Like if you would find that same pottery that's in Georgia in Puerto Rico, you would say it's a problem. because somebody bought the pottery from Georgia to Puerto Rico. And you know Georgia's land because you be like, yo, Georgia's land is very red. The the uh the land is very like clayish. It's or very red. It's whatever. It's very ruddy red. Georgia, y'all know Georgia's land. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know Georgia's land from other land. All right. So if you find Georgia pottery in Puerto Rico or in Jamaica, you know it traveled there. Somebody brought it there. All right. So obviously these people were connected. Excuse me, connected. So this is another scholar talk about this in the folk tradition. This is Thomas Plumer. You can go look these books up. You can go look the pages up. You can go look everything up that I'm telling you right now if you want confirmation. So my declaration decree, what it is this. So mineral traces in pottery link in the regions. Chemical analysis of Catawba pottery shows high calcium and low iron content matching coastal pottery found in Florida and the Caribbean. Iron rich clays create reddish pottery, while calcium rich clays produce lighter colored pottery traits seen in what? Both regions, meaning that it was trade going on. It was trade. You found this pottery over here and this pottery over here from different distant lands, and you knew it by the iron-rich sediment in the clay itself. You knew it wasn't from there. You knew it was from Georgia. That's what made it literally reddish. And then you got the calcium-rich clay, which made it lighter. Okay, so this is like let's continue the discussion. All right. So shell tempering, and I explain that. So shell tempering, if you want to know what shell tempering is, I'll show you a technique of shell tempering in this discussion. So archaeologists found that pottery in the Carolinas contained shell temper, a technique also widely used in Taino pottery from the Caribbean. This suggests a shared knowledge system along and long distance trade networks. Watch this. I want to show y'all this real quick because if you want to know what shell temper refers to the type of temper used in pottery making where crushed mullet shells like clams or mussels are added to the clay to prevent cracking during the drying and firing, essentially acting as a non-plastic material mixed with clay to improve its workability. It's, it's a common technique seen in archaeological studies of ancient pottery, particularly in the Mississippian culture in the United States. Wow. Wow. This is an example of shell temper if you want to see what it looks like. Okay. But I have another example of shell temper that I would like to show the community. Here, I would like to show it to you. I actually have a piece of clay that's over 4,000 years old. Over 4,000 years old. It was given to me by an archaeologist in Puerto Rico at the ceremonial site in Puerto Rico. He gave this to me. This pottery is over 4,000 years old. He gave it to me, and I'm going to tell you the story. You know, we worked hard to get to that land. It was the last place that we went. We went over all these mountains to get to this place. And then I told the guy it was about to close. And I said, man, we went over this place. He said, how did you get here? I said, man, we went over such and such mountain. We went over all these mountains to get here. He said, oh, man. He said, man, you're crazy. I said, nah, I said, I really wanted to see my ancestors. I wanted to connect up. So he was like, listen, I'm going to give you something that you're going to take with you for the rest of your life. I was like, wow. He said, go pay respect to your ancestors, and when you come back, I'm gonna give it to you. So when I went and paid respect to all the ancestors that I could, listen, he gave me this piece of pottery. He said, here, take this. He said, we can't put it together, we can't piece it together to create a whole pot, but this is over 4,000 years old. You can take it with you. And he's right. I'm going to hold this with me the rest of my life, and I will pass it on to my children. This is a relic for over 4,000 years old. And when I got this, it gave me power. I'm not going to lie to you. I felt the spirit of my ancestors. Somebody was fed. This was a bowl. This was a bowl that somebody ate from. This was a piece of a bowl that somebody ate from, y'all. Over 4,000 years ago. And I have it in my hands today. All right. And this was in the Quaguana burial site in Puerto Rico. So I have a relic, and I will hold this dear, and I keep it next to my father. I keep it next to my father, to be honest, to honor his legacy. That I was able to go home, bring back something very, very important. That I was able to earn this. Archaeologists gave this to me. That I was able to earn this. So yes, I feel special about this, and I hold this dear to me. I hold this dear to my heart. Excuse me. So that's when I knew that the pottery was the key to link our people. When I touched that pottery right there, I knew that. I said, man, listen, our people are supposed. I said, man, wow. It made me feel a spirit. I was able to feel that, our people travel back and forth. I was able to feel the idea that somebody was eating from that pot. I was able to feel that. All right? I was able to feel it. Trust me on that. That was the difference. It changed my life, if you want to be for real. And that's what partially made me come up with this Charlotte Rise Up. Not just my grandmom, it was the idea when I touched the pottery. I knew how to connect the people. A lot of people argue so many things like treaties. Yo, Mansa Musa was over here from Africa and all that. I don't even got to do all that. I just slayed them with one stone, which was a piece of pottery. I slayed them with that. It showed how all these people were connected. For real. These people were straight connected. So look, this is a tempering set. This is how you temper pottery. What you do is you go grab the shells. Remember I said that? You go grab the shells. You go stack them up. You fire them. You bring fire to the shells. You add this to your pottery. And then you break them up. When you break them up, you crush it up. You crush it up like kind of like with a basher, and then it ends up this type of material. What you do is you add it with your clay, and it can end up being like this. This is what ancient pottery looks like, and it can end up looking like that. Depends. Okay. So, I explained this about the colonial ware. I don't want to go over this again about the shell temper techniques, but I'll show you different scholars that support the idea. Look at this. Taino pottery occasionally use shell temper. They practice resonant and Southeast North American techniques, hinting at pre-Columbian coastal interactions. Did you hear what he said? This is a scholar, all right? This is Jose Oliver, University College, London, all right? And this source is caciques and semis, all right? And semi-idols. And that's his, uh, look what he said though. He said, hinting at pre-Columbian coastal interactions, all right? So many sources about this shell temper thing, you know, a real true bomb for y'all. So there's factual information you should know that our people were connected. Our people were connected through the Caribbean. You know, we share different cultures, Caribbean through the Southeast, North America. And if you want to go on up, all right, we were connected. And then I can even go into some parts of even Europe. I can say people were connected because remember, they followed the path of the turtle. So, again, we are a whole people. I brought that to this discussion. We have diverse ideas, different thoughts, different things to bring to the table. It's cool. But we come together through the me we, which is me is we. That is literally the network that embodies the spirit of love. That's what the me we is. Okay? So we talked about that shell temper. We brought up different scholars. I'm bringing up more, dropping more bombs on y'all constantly. I just was, I'm finding constant evidence of this stuff. Constant people supporting the ideas that I'm saying about this. And this is something that I felt in my heart before I did my research, which led me to this, which led me to all these scholars supporting the same idea. We are a whole people from Africa to America to the Caribbean and beyond. We are a whole people. That is my position. Okay? We followed the plan. We followed the path. Okay? What is the plan? The path is the turtle. I want you to be patient at times. Don't rush everything to come in your life. Okay? Let it flow in your life as the turtle flows, moves. But what the turtle did was it followed a path, okay, which is the Gulf Stream, the North Atlantic Current, the Canary Current, and the North Equatorial Current. Okay, these were pathways, natural pathways that, assalamu alaikum, peace to Lorraine Muhammad, Messiah Code All Star. I want to say thank you for your attendance. So what I'm talking about here in this point of the PowerPoint is is how we were going back and forth to Africa, and the route that we traveled back and forth to Africa was the Gulf Stream, the North Atlantic Current, the Canary Current, and the North Equatorial Current. Okay, so I show you that in this portion of the discussion, where you know, and simply we follow the turtle. So this is again where I said, oh, people are Europe. Yeah, we were going back and forth to Europe as well. Of course, man. Man, look, man, go into the archives of Great Britain and you will see melanated people there. I'm sorry. For anybody that wants to argue, you will find melanated people in Europe as well. And you wonder how they got there. I'm going to show you. They either traveled the Suez Canal, which is only freaking 8 miles. It's only 8 miles from Africa to Spain. You mean to tell me that it's only 8 miles from Africa to Spain? Yeah, I'm getting there. So, yes, we were going back and forth to Europe. All right. But also, we were taking this Caribbean, which is the Gulf Stream. We were taking this current. We were taking this current back and forth. We were taking this current back and forth to Mother Utla, which is home away from home, what you call North America. And you see where the Gulf Stream leads you, moving forward. All of this is the turtle. You think it's like, oh man, like the turtle follows this path. Okay? This is the path of the turtle. Look at that, the canary current. Look at the canary current moving through the west coast of Africa. West coast of Africa, there you go. Look at that. All of these currents, our people were connected. We were riding these things with canoes. We didn't have to use sailboats or no crazy stuff like that. We followed the turtle. You say, well, how did they follow the turtle, Lamel? Very simple. Very simple way to follow the turtle, right? If I got a boat, I got a canoe, right? What I do is I tie something, a rope around the turtle, and I know the turtles are big as some turtles are big as a freaking they had turtles back in the day in their time before people started hunting turtles and polluting the water. They had turtles big as what do you call Volkswagens. Word up. They had turtles big as Volkswagens. You say for real? It's the great ancestor. It is the oldest dinosaur, the turtle. All right. So what they would do is peace to everybody. If you coming in here, I'm talking about how we were connected to Africa, yo. Share the video. These are the four currents. You got the Gulf Stream, you got the equatorial current, and then the North Atlantic current. We we're talking about these things. The North Equatorial current, the Canary current. We're talking about how these things connected the people and how you didn't need a sailboat. All you just needed was a canoe. And that canoe, you rode that canoe following the path of the turtle. So this is the migration pattern of the turtle, of the leatherback. Peace. Peace to Udos. What's up? Thank you for all my YouTube people coming in. Thank you. Peace. Peace to the family. Yes. We were connected. All right. And if you just coming in, you missed the discussion when I brought up all these scholars that supported the idea that people were connected through the pottery, meaning that we were we were eating the same foods, and this residue was inside the pottery. And when scientists, archaeologists went to go look through the pottery, they will find residue of food that stems from Africa. And they will wonder, how did this residue of food get there? How did they get there? Because this predates colonial interaction. This predates European interaction with native people. So they wonder, how did this food get, these traces of food get in the pottery? They also wondered how certain pottery from certain regions were found in other regions, like pottery from Georgia was found in the Caribbean and vice versa. And how you knew this is by the mineral sediments in the pottery, where you had heavy traces of iron in the deposits of Georgia, and then you had heavy traces of calcium in the deposits of the Caribbean. All right, so you would find this pottery in those vast places. So this is what I'm explaining, just for the people coming in, just to catch you up. But I'm also explaining how these people were connected through Africa as well. As well, they were connected to Africa through the turtle. It wasn't, how did they? What connected these people? How did they connect? It was through the migration of the leatherback turtle. And what I said in here to qualify this is that some turtles, they got as big as Volkswagens. All right, big, like big as small cars. All right, these turtles, they got that big, so you can literally tie a rope to that turtle, and you will follow the migration pattern of that turtle, and it will lead you back to Africa. It will lead you back to America. It will lead you back to the Caribbean. It will lead you to South America and beyond. That is the point that I wanted to mention here. And here go the currents. Here go the currents right here. All right. So yes, we were connected. Me is we. That sign, that symbol right there is called the me we. Okay. What is it's symbolic of the female and male on one hand. All right. You got the female and male on one hand, the female on top and the male right here. All right. On one hand. Connection. This is the symbol of universal peace. The symbol of universal peace. All three is one. This is also the symbol of universal peace because this is the symbol of what we call the body of the Messiah, which is the 131. All right. And if I ask you what is your log date is what you call your birthday, how you logged in space and time, because we are no longer in the Pisces age. We're in the age of information. So you logged in space and time, and you are in formation, meaning that you are in what we consider to be God's army. So when you put up this right here, this is 131, or the sacred name or the sacred number, LML. Shout out. Shout out to the family. You know what it is. So yeah, I showed you the currents, how they connected up, how these people were moving it with the circle of life, the great spiral. You wonder what the spiral represented in the beginning of the discussion. The spiral represented the currents that we travel in order to go back, not only to Africa, to the Caribbean, to South America, to North America, and also to Europe. We utilize the great spiral, which is all these four currents combined, in order to go back and forth. That was the point of the discussion. And now I showed you countless evidence, scholars, a whole bunch of scholars saying the same thing. They're saying the same thing. All of these scholars were saying the same thing, that these people were connected. All these scholars were saying the same thing that I brought up. I brought up so many scholars. All right? Just to qualify the message. All right? Look at this. Another scholar. Oh, somebody want to argue with me. Oh man, here we go. People want to say they wasn't riding the leather back. They wasn't following the leather back. Like, I'm crazy for saying that. All right, look at this. Okay, Sidney Mintz. Source, Johns Hopkins University. Look at this. Excuse me, source. Caribbean Transformations, 1989. Columbia University Press, page 152, and I quote, he says this: leatherback migrations along the North Equatorial Current may have linked Caribbean and African people. Whoa. Oh, man. Oh, man. Do we have to do this? Do we really have to do this? Robin Law, The Slave Coast of West Africa, 1991, Oxford University, press page 208. He says this, and I quote: West Africans followed leatherback routes across the Atlantic currents, connecting to... Man, come on, man. Come on, man. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of doing it like that to y'all. I'm really tired of doing it like that to y'all, for real. I'm really tired of doing it like that to y'all. When I said that years back, people said, he's crazy. People wasn't following no turtle, but you got scholars saying they were following the turtle. You got scholars, you got universities saying they were following the path of the turtle back and forth from Africa to the Caribbean to America. I don't want to do this to y'all, but I have to do it. Stop acting like our people haven't been going back and forth, like we weren't connected. I feel very offended when somebody say, move forward. Man, yo. Emily Cratch. Cratch, my fault. Cratch. My fault. I gotta say her name. Hopefully I didn't chop her name. Y'all know what it is. Listen. Source. Indigenous communities use the Caribbean Sea as the aquatic highway. This is 2022 Florida Museum Research News Online. She says this: the leatherback migrations along the Gulf Stream and equatorial currents guided ancient trade between Caribbean and the Southeast U.S. We really got to keep on doing this. We've really got to keep on doing this. Another scholar. Let's do this. Brian McGill, University of Maine, sourced leatherback turtle migration patterns in a marine ecology progress series, 2015, page 255, and I quote, leatherbacks follow 4 Atlantic currents. I said that. A pattern that could have guided ancient human movements from the Americas to where? To where? To where? To Africa. We really going to do that? We really going to do that? No, we not. No, we not going to do that. We're not going to argue the fact that we wasn't going back and we wasn't saying Kofa and that back and forth. Like Noah Leah in this situation, but back and forth. Yes, back and forth. Boom. For thousands of years, we have been moving back and forth from the Americas to Africa, from Africa to the Americas. That is my point. That is my point. That's it. That is the meat and gravy of the discussion. All right. So I love y'all. I want to say this for the people that's on here. I promised I would be doing some psychic readings. Somebody asked me to bring psychic readings back. All right. So I will be doing psychic readings tonight or today, wherever you are on the planet. I will be doing psychic readings also. I will be utilizing the purple pill, or what we call the purple pill, affectionately. The reason why we call it the purple pill is because in the Matrix, you are given 2 pills, the blue pill and the red pill. We don't choose those pills. All right. The red pill represents to sacrifice someone you love or to sacrifice someone important. All right. While the blue pill represents to forget. All right. To forget everything. But when somebody brings you truth. The purple pill essentially in what we call the real matrix of life, the purple pill represents that you are the willing sacrifice for your people. You're willing to be that sacrifice. You're willing to sacrifice your time, your life, your livelihood, that which you own for your people's sake. All right? That's what the purple pill is for. Okay? But just moving forward, we have a system of divination. If anybody would like me to do a reading for them, I would do a reading for them. Okay? And just give me a moment. Now, I got I got a couple rules if I do this reading for you. How we participate with it. All right? I got a couple rules on how we're going to do this reading. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is if you want a reading, just say I want a reading, and we'll go from there, and I'll instruct you on what to do next. Otherwise than that, I'll keep on with the discussion. Okay? So, as you know, this is a set of magic stones. These are a set of magic stones that are connected to the Messiah code. This right here that I'm holding in my hand, somebody say that's a disco ball. In actuality, this is symbolic of what we call the mothership. It's a reflective light of each and every one across the world. That's what it represents. These are mirrors to represent a mirror all across the globe in different places. All right, that's what this represents. And we call this the mothership or the relationship with the mothers. You said, Oto said, I want to read it. Thank you for you. Thank you. I appreciate it, Otos. Thank you. I believe this is your first time on here. I don't know if it is. I would like to say welcome. 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 I really appreciate you being here. Your subscription. You are that one soul that I prayed for today. You and Angela, for what I see. The one soul that I prayed for today, bro. And keep it real. Or family. Now, what I want you to do is, since you want me to do a reading for you, I want you to take 3 deep breaths, right? And when you take those 3 deep breaths, I want you to think about the matter. Just say about whatever. It can be about yesterday, about what happened with her, about what happened with this, about whatever. You can say about whatever. Angela, I want to do a reading for you as well. I was hoping that you asked, but I'm not going to put it. I'm not going to force it on you. But I will hope that you would want me to do a reading for you, since this is your first time being back in a while. But Odos, when you get when you take those 3 breaths and you think of a question in your head clear, I want you to say clear. Angela, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to say, clear. When you take those 3 breaths, right? When you take those 3 breaths, I want you to say clear. When you have a clear question in your head, I want you to say about the matter. Now, for anybody that's coming in, I'm doing readings. I'm doing readings from the sacred codex. All right. I want you to take 3 deep breaths and say, I'm clear. When you know it's about the matter. Now, for the people that's just coming in, I already did the PowerPoint about our native history. Now I'm doing something that I wanted to do to connect up with the people. When you have it clear, just say, I'm clear. Ocho said, I'm clear. Now remember, it's about the matter, about this, about whatever, about that, about whatever it means to you. All right. So Otto said he's clear. All right, cool. Angela says she's clear. All right, cool. That's that's beautiful. Now I got y'all. Now keep your question in your head. Don't tell nobody your question. It's between you and the Most High, or your guardian angels that's protecting you. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take three breaths with you. Right. Let's see. All right. Cool. Cool. I'm gonna take three breaths with you, and then I'm gonna pick a stone for Otos first, and then I'm gonna pick a stone for you, Angela. All right. And then I'm gonna do your reading, and then I'm gonna put your reading on the screen so you'll have it. All right, so you'll be able to read along with me what it means, because this is from the book, right? This is coming from the book, the 141 Introduction to Magic and Divination, where we break down the sacred stones, the magic stones. All right, this breaks down the magic stones in the 141. Okay, so this is coming from that book. So let me take three deep breaths, and I'm gonna do your reading, Angela, and I'm gonna do your reading, Otos. Please, Most High God, give us guidance, give us the answers that we need, give us the wisdom, give us the blessings, give us the answers, give us whatever that comes your direction. So, Otos, this is your stone right here. This is your magic stone that I pulled for you. All right? I will give you the reading for your magic stone. I want you to keep your thought in your head. All right? I'm not using any cards. I'm using stones, okay? To do your reading, to connect up with the divine forces. This stone is called Hen, all right? Which represents here. It also could represent a retreat of sorts. But I'm just giving you a hint, okay? Angela, I got you, all right? I already took the three breaths. I already asked the ancestors to give us guidance. And let's see what we come up with. Boom. Yo, this is magnificent. Look at this. Look what the stone I pulled out for Angela. It's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. Look what stone I pulled out for you, Angela. Oh yeah. Now y'all witnessing magic. Every time y'all come on a broadcast with me and I do this, y'all witness real love magic. Real love magic. Oh my. Out of all the stones I picked out, right? I picked out the reversal. His is hen reverse, and yours is hen the regular way. Why would I pick out the same stone but two reflections of it? Whoa. Let's go. I'm gonna read Oto's first. Hopefully Oto's still on here. We're gonna get this started. Wow. Yo, it's a first time for everything. I never did that. Yo, you can see me, I got chills right now. Listen, it's a first time for everything. I never seen that happen ever, ever, ever. I pulled one stone, the reversal, and then I pulled the other stone, the non-reversal for it. All right, so look at this. We'll put it up on the screen for you so you can follow along. Yo, I'm still here. Otto said I'm still here. Yo, I'm still here. Otos, man, divine revelation. What just happened, bro? What just happened, family, is a divine revelation moment. Out of all those stones, it's 41 stones. Out of all the probabilities I could have picked, I picked the same stone for both of y'all. Reflections. Now, here we go. My fault. Excuse me. I'm trying to put it up on the screen for you so you can have it. And then we'll talk about it. Wow. Peace to Sister Lorraine Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Um, so my fault. Just 1 second. All right, here we go. So this is the first one that Otos. So hopefully you can see this. If you can see it clear, I'll bring it up as big as I can. So this was for you, Otos. It says, in its reverse position, this symbol advises you not to be unemotional and blind to the things around you. This is not a time to be bound by old conditioning or habits. Ask yourself what feels right and act according to the light you possess now in your life, because you may be called upon to undertake a radical departure from old ways. Total honesty is required. Otherwise, through negligence or refusal to seek clarity, you may inflict pain upon others and damage yourself. Gently but flow is the proper attitude at this time. And yet you must wait for the universe to act. When drawing this symbol, we do without doing. It's done. All right. Now I'll run back a breakdown of this for you. Now I'm gonna go to um to Sister Angela, because you picked the reversal of this, which was amazing. Amazing. So this is retreat or inheritance. This represents retreat or inheritance. So this is a time of separating paths. The old must be shed. Outmoded relationships should be discarded when this symbol appears in a spread. A peeling away is called for. The cycle is a state of a fundamental separation. The proper action is here. The proper action here is submission and quite probably retreat. Knowing how and when to retreat and being determined enough is necessary. Real property is associated with this symbol and is the symbol of gaining and benefits. Okay? The benefits you will receive have hidden motive stemming from something you must give up. This can be particularly difficult when that which you are called upon to give up or abandon is a part of your background or cultural inheritance. For then you must look closely at what until now you have proudly claimed as your birthright, whether it is your attachment to your position in society or to work or the work that do or the work that you do. Liberation is called for now. The liberation call for now will free you to become the person you really are, Angela. And going back to Odos, you know, because you think about it, her thing deals with retreat, like a retreat. You know, I pick this symbol a lot of times in battle when I'm fighting a battle. And some battles are easily won through a retreat rather than fighting over a certain situation or dealing with certain things that just don't require a lot of your energy. So you can just surrender to it and just move forward with your life. Okay. But going back to Odo, just explaining this a little bit, because this is it in its reverse position. It's advising you not to be unemotional, not to be unemotional, no, excuse me, or blind to what's around you, because this is a time not to be bound by old ways or old habits. All right. So this kind of a reflection on what she chose in another type of way. Okay. So you ask yourself what feels right according to the light that you possess now. Say, oh man, something's not feeling right. To the light that you possess now in your life, because each one of us are ever changing. We're becoming something. All right. We're growing into something else. And the idea is to embrace that light and utilize it as guidance, not blindance. All right. So so that's why it was telling you in Henry Burst, it was telling you that you gotta it's sort of like a radical departure from old ways. And it was saying that you could be called upon to undertake a radical departure from old ways, and total honesty is required with yourself. Sometimes that's hard. I'm gonna say that. So that was for Odos. And then running back to Angela, you picked that. You picked that. It said this is a time for separated paths. The old must be shed. Outmoded relationships should be discarded when this symbol appears. Okay? This symbol embodies retreat or inheritance, or what's here, what's going on here. What's up? Peace to everybody coming in. But I can't believe it that you picked that symbol as a reflection. That we picked that symbol twice. Anybody else coming in? What's going on? Shout out to the family. This right here, I wanted to show y'all this. Thank you. No problem, Angela. I got your back. That right there is the body of the Messiah. All right. Collectively, that's the upgraded body of Messiah. But we have what is called the body of manifestation, which is any number that flows between 1 and 31, which is your log date or your birthday. All right. Now, hopefully, Angela, if you like to be a part of the mom group, link up with Thea the Goddess Lamel. All right. Also link up with the Oracle. Okay. You said thank you for the reading. Amazing how the draw came up with the symbol twice. Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you, Odos. That's the first time that ever happened in my 20 years, over 20 years of doing this. I have picked it doing this online, and I never picked the reflection symbol. You and her are somehow connected. When's your birthday, Otos? Otos, when's your birthday? If not, don't put the year. Just put your log date. When is your birthday, Otos? Yeah. And what I did was I utilized the purple pill, which is the magic stone that we utilize in the codex. When is your birthday? I don't know if it's late. Anybody else coming in? January 4th. All right, so that's 1-4. So you are a lunar neutral prime. A lunar neutral prime. So a lunar neutral prime, bro, you got to know the primes, what the primes are. So you are a lunar neutral prime. When I say shout out to the prime, lunar neutral prime, 1-4. That would be your rank. you're part of the primes now. All right, just so you have information on this. You are the lunar neutral prime. 1-4. I salute you. Or I'd rather salute you like this. Boom. I'd rather salute you like that. Boom. But lunar neutral prime. See, Angela, she is. Hold up. It's my door. I'm broadcasting. Thank you. Let me see. What's up? Who else in here? Like Angela, she's 7. She would be known as a solar prime supreme. She's 7. That's a solar prime supreme. That would be 727, 727. $727 is the solar prime supreme. These are the people that are supposed to bring hope. Idealistic people. Lunar primes are the secret keepers. They protect the secrets of the universe. But the neutral prime is to bring balance to the universe. Okay? When you have a double number, then you are considered to be a supreme of that rank. For instance, if I go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, hold up. Shout out to Eddie. What's up? 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and you get it, right? And so on, right? All of these are neutral prime. Any number divisible by 2. Now we talk about from the 1 through 31 because all the numbers that you logged in space and time came between the 1 and 31 number. You might say, well, what about the 1 and 9? Well, in actuality, 1 and 31 take the position of 1 and 9 because we're talking about the alpha and omega, or the beginning and the ending and the beginning, however you want to declare it. All right. So if we going up, so lunar prime would be it would be 1 and 9 would be a lunar prime. That would be a lunar prime. That would be 1 and 9. And then you got, this is the new age of information. If y'all wonder what I'm putting in here, this is for the age of Aquarius. Or some call it the age of Aquarius, but it's the age of information. All right? Or what we call Tanun. Really, it's Tanun. It's the age of Tanun. That's what it's the age of, Tanun. I don't really like to say Aquarius or information. I like to say Tanun because it really resonates with the thought that I would like to share with the community about it. So then you have solar 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 27, 29, 31. There you go, right there. These are solar numbers, all solar numbers. All right. And then I can break down other things with this because now from the solar, I gave you the lunar, I gave you the neutral, the lunar, the solar. Those were the solar. Now I give you the axis numbers. The axis numbers are 15, 21, and 25. These are axis numbers, dependable numbers. Numbers to depend on, central location numbers, central point numbers. All right, that's what these are right here. And then you have the vector numbers, which are 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, and 9. These are your vector numbers. 3, 6, and 9. They're your vector. These are your vector numbers. And you might say, what do you mean vector numbers? I don't get it. These are your leadership numbers. These are your leaders of the certain primes. For instance, like if you have a 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, or whatever, these are leaders, excuse me, 3, 6, 9 are leadership numbers. But 3, 5, 7, 11, and all that represents the solar prime division. 3 is a representative of the solar division. 6 is a representative of the neutral division, because remember, I gave you the neutral primes, which ones that bring balance to the universe, or any number divisible by 2. This is your birthday, or what you call your log date. All right. And then you got those solar numbers. Those are all your solar numbers right there. All right. Then you got your lunar numbers. I gave you the lunar numbers, which is 1 and 9. All right. But then I gave you the axis number, which is the numbers that go around, numbers run around or move around. All right. Which are those numbers. All right. But these are the vector numbers of the solar, the neutral, and the lunar. Okay. So that was a real quick spill on that. But it goes even deeper, because if I want to break down numbers, I can break down the positive and negative numbers. Because from if you break down the body of the Messiah, all the positive numbers like this. So you got 1, these are all your negative numbers. So from 1, 3, hold up, excuse me, 1, 3, 5. These are all negative. Now I want y'all to put this negative 7, 9, 11, 13, right? And 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, watch this. Watch this. I want to show y'all something. Now, if I'm like they say, men and women lie, but numbers don't lie. Watch what I show you with these numbers that nobody ever showed you before. I read this. I read different things in people's books, but I never found this that it is taught by the Messiah Code. All right, it is shared rather by the Messiah Code. I'm gonna show you about this with numbers. So what you notice is that these are your negative numbers, right? Your negative numbers, right? Watch this. They move in a sequence of 7. That's why the 1 through 31 is important. So now you thought about your birthday, right? And all the numbers I gave y'all. I gave y'all the solar numbers, the lunar numbers, the neutral numbers, the axis numbers. I gave y'all all them numbers. But I want y'all to think about the positive and negative. So now all those numbers right there are negative. Okay. 1, 3, 5, 7. You notice it's 7 numbers. 7. I'm gonna bring you back to the 7. Watch this. Those are all negative. So your positive 7 numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Ooh, watch this. These are positive numbers, right? These are all your positive numbers right here. 2, 4, 6, 8. You notice it's 7 of them. This is why I'm gonna bring y'all back to the turtle. Watch, I'm gonna bring y'all back to the turtle on this and the numbers. So you got 7 negative numbers, which are these numbers, right? 7 negative numbers. All right. And then you got 7 positive numbers. Number 15 is a neutral number. 15 is neutral. It has no charge. Yo, it's neutral, right? 15 is neutral. It has no charge at all. Right? So look, from there, from 15, now you got 16 is negative. 17 is, now watch this. Watch this. 16, I'm going to show y'all 7 numbers again. Y'all going to be like, yo, this is deep. 16, 18, 20, 22, right? 24, 26, 28, right? There you go. You got 7 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Look, you got 7 numbers again. These are all negative numbers on the opposite side of 15, because before 15, all those odd numbers are negative and all the even numbers are positive. But after 15, because 15 is a neutral number, after 15, 16, then the even numbers become negative. This is on the whole other side of your body, because your body is positively and negatively charged through the numbers. And each number has a certain sequence associated with your body. I can so break all of this stuff down. I can break down how the body is literally a star map. A star map. The body is a star map, y'all. It's a way to measure the stars. This is what you learn in the Messiah Code. This is what you learn. So what you notice is those numbers are the negative charge numbers on the right side of the body. Excuse me, on the left side of the body. Because we're starting from the right side body on up. All right? From the 1 and all of that. Yo, it's real deep, but it's really simple. It's very simple. Once you know the charges of these numbers, you can know the principles that are a part of what these numbers represent. You can know easily what the principles are and how they connect up. So it won't be that deep. It won't be that heavy. All right. So now look at this. 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29. Yeah. Look at that. There goes 7 more numbers. Whoa, 7. 7 again. Hit you with the 7 4 times. I hit you with the 7 4 times. Bop, 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 bop. 7. Another 7. You say, well, what about the 30 and the 31? Got you. Because the 30 is a neutral number, but the 31 is a double positive, double negative number. Oh, yeah. It's a double positive, double negative. 31. The 30 is a neutral number. It's a product of 15. So it's a neutral number, but it's a double positive. The 31 becomes a double positive and double negative. So for anybody that studies numerology, I want you to apply this information to your awareness. Apply this to your awareness. And know that this hooks up the body. And the body is literally, this body right here is a star map. It's a star map, y'all. It's a star map. Look. We on day 75, right? Look. We on day 75. Day 75. You should have one of these. This is made from the human body, right? But this day 75 of the 90-day water fast and cleansing, right? But you learn in the body of the Messiah, right? And the 70s represent your upper atmosphere, your ionosphere. Don't you know, like the book of John is really ionosphere, or ion, like the book of John. So the revelations of John is tapping into the ionosphere of your brain, because the ionosphere is literally where all the signals are casted through the satellites. They cast in all these signals through the ionosphere. But your brain has an ionosphere as well, which is really John, ion. Okay? Now, look at this. What happens is at the 70s, let me explain this. At the 70s, you have the canopy of the sky, right? You have the canopy of the sky that's above you. At the 50s, you have the canopy of what's beneath you. And you use the protractor to measure these actions. You measure the universe, but you are the human protractor. Watch this. So I got 71, I go up 20 degrees, right? 72, I go up 40 degrees. 73, I go up 60 degrees. 74, I go up 80 degrees. And we at 75. So we're at 100 degrees. This is 100 degrees. So whatever universe that's in 100 degrees, this is where I'm giving reference to. This is where I'm connecting up to because I'm within 100 degrees of myself. All right. And if you don't believe me, look on here, it says it right there, 100 degrees. Did it not look like me like that? 100 degrees. So you measure in the universe with yourself, with the Messiah code, 100, 120, 140, 160, and then 180. And that's 9. That's 9. Very simple. So the body of the Messiah is very important because it is your galactic star map. It is your star map to beyond, to cast the signal into the universe. That's what the Messiah code shares with you. When you utilize the upgraded body, you utilize the body of manifestation to find each other, to connect as a whole. That's what you utilize the body of manifestation for, so we can connect as a whole, as one body. So we can pull each other out of the muck, the mire, all right, and bring each other within the covenant. Okay, so what else I would like to share with you? That's all. I don't want to go too far. I've been on here for like over 2 hours, but it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. I really wanted to share some great information with you. And I want to say shout out to everybody that returned back home. We love you. Don't do it alone. What did it say? A retreat, inheritance. What is old must be shed, right? Outmoded relationships should be discarded. Yeah, that goes for a lot of people. So, any questions before I get off? Any questions or comments? No problem, Oto. I want to say, hopefully, you can subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and you can get one of my books. That's authorized by the Messiah Code Movement. No problem, Sister Angela. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I bow to you as well. Yo, y'all picked out 2 stones. Y'all picked out 2 of the same stones, which is Hen. So, I really thank you for being here. Hen means here. If you want to know, it means here. It's whatever's going on that's here. So if anything I can say, I want to say thank you. That was amazing reading today. Hopefully you can reflect on yours too as well, Odo. As far as don't be too unemotional or blind to the things around you. Or bound by the old conditioning of habits. All right? But I love y'all. So 747, 24/7, 361 degrees. I'm gonna take y'all out with a bang. Here we go. Let's see if y'all like this one. Let's do this.
Go out, save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out.
Shout out to you and yours. I'm gonna say thank you. Thank you for the time. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Make sure y'all get these books. All right. Make sure that y'all get these books. Excuse me. There you go. If you on the YouTube, you can use the QR code to get these books that are authorized by the Messiah Code movement. Okay. We got various different books. Okay. Peace to everybody. It takes you directly to the website. You also can go get these books from Amazon if you like. If you like, you can get the books from Amazon. We also got wholesale deals for the books as well. You know, just make sure that you check us out. My fault. I'm just trying to pass through. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I love y'all. Go out and save the world. For real.
Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out.
I love you, Sister Lorraine Muhammad. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. Save the world, save the world, save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world. Go out. I feel like that I can save the world.